Hey guys, just Chanel here. So we are going to make a steak and potato dinner. This is a great idea for date night at home. Super affordable instead of, going out and buying a $50 steak somewhere. So I have some red potatoes here that I'm just cutting up, and I don't know if this is considered dicing. No, this is kind of big. I'm just cutting them to where they'll cook a little bit faster. So they'll only take about 30 minutes in the oven instead of like 40 to 45 minutes. And I'm going to season them in that silver bowl that you see. So we'll be having red potatoes, a ribeye steak, and broccoli. So I'm just putting all the potatoes in there. And then I'm going to use my seasonings that you guys know that I love from the farmer's market. If you follow me on Instagram, you see that I cook a lot on my Insta story. And I just added some canola oil, olive oil mix, and then some soy sauce. I'm also adding quite a bit of salt because we want them to taste good. And it's a date night, so we're not really eating too healthy. Pepper, some minced garlic and onion, some ground what is that, garlic powder and onion powder, and then smoked paprika, which is like my favorite spice ever, a little bit of red pepper flakes, and then some Italian seasoning as well. So it's a great flavor combination there. They're going to be really tasty, and then we're going to top them with honey when they are done. So I'm just mixing all that up, and then I'm gonna place them on a baking sheet. We'll be putting these in the oven at 425 for about 30 to 35 minutes. Then we have my ribeye steak here. This one is not the best ribeye steak, but I think I might have left it out too long. So not like I left it out all day, but I always let my steaks sit out so that they're almost room temperature, because you don't want to put a super cold piece of meat in the pan when you're trying to sear it. So I usually let it sit out for about an hour or an hour and a half, and I just put some oil on there, and then I'm putting my homemade steak seasoning. I keep it in like a steak seasoning container because I usually save all of my containers. But yeah, I also put the pan for the steak in the oven when I'm preheating it, because you want your steak to cook evenly, and that helps it cook evenly. So our potatoes are done. I put the honey on the top of those, and then we're going to go ahead and put our steak in that hot pan straight out the oven, and we cook it on the stove top first, medium to high heat. So if you want to make sure that you have the fan on, like your oven fan or your stove fan, and if you can like pop a window or something open, that'll be good too, because it gets really smoky. And then I love butter, so I like to put butter in there because it gives it a really nice crust. And that's just us on our medium to high heat. We're going to flip that after about 2 to 3 minutes. I like my steaks medium, but I would say sear it for 2 to 3 minutes regardless of how you like your steak prepared. Now you would need to keep it in the oven a little bit longer if you want it more like medium well or well done. So we're just letting that sear there, and the key to cooking the steak is, number one, making sure that it cools down a little bit before you cook it. Number two, when you put it in the pan, don't move it. Like, just let it do its thing until it's ready to flip. Now I'm just going to steam some broccoli. So this is just frozen broccoli florets, and I just put a little water in the container and popped them in the microwave. So this literally only takes, I guess the potatoes is what takes the longest because you actually have to, wait to cook them. But the prep for this meal is really, really easy. And then I'm cutting up some green onions, and I went ahead and put my steak in the oven as y'all saw there. So I'm just gonna put that on the top of my potatoes, and we're checking on my steak so we can flip it. So I would say if you want your steak medium, to keep it in the oven for about 6 minutes, flipping it halfway through, and kind of add 2 minutes, if you want it medium well, or add add 4 minutes if you want it well done. Then if you like it medium rare, keep it in there for about 5 minutes. Now I'm just putting some butter and my seasoning mix on my broccoli. Really simple. I like my veggies to taste like veggies, so I don't like, season them down too much. And our steak is nice and cooked there. It looks so good. So we're just going to take that out of the pan, put it on a plate, and the third major key to cooking a steak is letting your steak rest. You never want to go right into cutting your steak because it's going to lose all those juices and your meat won't be as tender. So I usually let it rest on the plate for about 5 minutes before I actually cut into it. And that way it's really good. And if you can let it rest for even longer, that's great. But they always look so good. I'm ready to eat them. And I'm just putting my broccoli. I already put my potatoes on there. And we'll have a nice steak dinner. So this took me, I would say 40 minutes. But it's really just having your potatoes cooked, because your steak is only going to take about 10 minutes total. The broccoli or whatever veggie you choose won't take long at all. And then here we have our finished product. Looks so good. And the great thing about this is you don't need steak sauce. It's that good. Alrighty, so I'll leave the seasoning mix for the steak in the description box. Thank y'all so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.